So let's move on to something a little bit more interesting. The question asks how to simplify expressions that have a radical in the denominator. Meaning, if you see something like this, 3 over 6 plus square root of 5, how would you simplify it? In order to figure this out, we need to make a statement here. Please write this down. To simplify expressions that have a radical in the denominator, we are going to need to multiply the numerator and the denominator by what's called the conjugate of the denominator. Okay, so conjugate of the denominator. Okay, and we'll show you what we mean here. So just going to put down the given. You have 3 over 6 plus square root of 5. Here's the denominator. The conjugate of this guy here is 6 minus square root of 5. Okay, so if we multiply the bottom by the conjugate, we need to multiply the top by the conjugate also. Okay, the reason we want to do this is to get rid of the radical that's in the denominator. Okay, so let's FOIL this. 6 times 6. And then you have a plus and a minus root 5. So the middle term cancels. Okay, but let's put it down just so that we'll know, okay, what's happening here. So you have positive times negative is a negative. 6 times root 5 is 6 root 5. Okay, and then you have again a positive and a negative is positive and a positive, I mean. You have a positive. 6 times root 5 is 6 root 5. Again, all we're doing here is FOILing. So last term you have a positive and a negative is negative. Square root of 5 times square root of 5 is 5. Okay. So let's look at the top here. We have 3 times 6 is 18. Positive times negative is negative. 3 times root 5 is 3 square root of 5. Okay, so as you can see, the middle term cancels. Positive, negative 6 root 5 plus 6 root 5 is 0. So what we have here is 18 minus 3 root 5 over 36 minus 5. Okay, and this is the best we can do. So our final answer is 18 minus 3 root 5 over 31. Strange, but that's the way it goes. Okay, let's look at another example just to be safe here. Okay, so again, feel free to pause this clip and review what we've just done to make sure that you understand this concept before we move on. Okay. So this one is similar to what we've just accomplished. You have 2 over 1 plus the square root of 3. If you were to ask to simplify this expression here, what would you get? So go ahead and pause this clip and see if you can figure this out based on the explanation here, that in order to get rid of the radical, you need to multiply the denominator and the numerator by the conjugate of the denominator. Okay, so the way I'm going to go about this is I'm just going to rewrite the given here and then find what is the conjugate of the denominator. So here you have the denominator, 1 plus square root of 3. Its conjugate is 1 minus square root of 3. Okay, so multiply the top and the bottom by the conjugate. Okay. So next step would be to FOIL the bottom. So 1 times 1, okay. 1 times negative root 3 is negative root 3. Positive root 3 times 1 is positive root 3. And then the last term is positive times negative is negative. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. Okay, so let's deal with the top here. You have 2 times 1, and then 2 times negative root 3, so negative 2 root 3. Okay, but we're getting there. You have the middle term that can cancel out. So negative root 3 plus root 3 is 0. And then eventually we'll have 2 minus 2 root 3 over 1 minus 3, negative 2. Okay, so if things are looking more simple, we're heading in the right direction. So let's see if we can, you can definitely cancel out the 2 here, make it a 1. Okay, so you have 1 minus root 3 over negative 1, and most students stop here, but really we can take it another step. So you can move the negative sign to the top, so you can have negative 1 minus root 3 over 1, which equates to negative 1 plus square root of 3. Okay, so again, negative times positive is negative. Negative times negative is positive. And then the 1 on the bottom, you can skip that. So our final answer is negative 1 plus the square root of 3.